If you are into the digital modes like DMR, DStar, or Yeasu System Fusion, you've mostly likely heard of hotspots, like the OpenSpot or the PiStar. The question is, which do you get? Welcome to the House of Ham. I'm Bob, WV7W, and today I'm going to compare the OpenSpot4 versus the PiStar. Now, the OpenSpot that I have here is the standard, not the Pro, and the PiStar is an rsync MMDVM board installed on a Raspberry Pi 3. At the end, I will give you my recommendation on which to get. And if you think you can guess what my answer is going to be, you might be surprised. Now, for full disclosure, as with all my videos so far, everything I review I have purchased with my own money, and I'm not sponsored or influenced by any of the manufacturers. Now let's start off with the physical look and feel of these two devices. The OpenSpot is smaller and lighter than the PiStar, but keep in mind that if you use a Pi Zero, it's about half as wide as this one, but the thickness and length are about the same. The PiStar with this MMDVM board has a small OLED display that tells you the mode, the IP address, as well as the name and call of the person talking, as well as the talk group. The OpenSpot only has LEDs that give you some status indication. Now, this PiStar weighs 5.5 ounces, as where the OpenSpot weighs 2.7 ounces, or just about half. But that includes the built-in battery. Did I not mention that? Yes. The OpenSpot4 has a built-in battery that RF-Shark claims will last 30 hours. Now, I've not tested how long it will actually run, as I only keep it on while I'm actually using it. And since it's so quick to start up, it only takes about 5 seconds from pushing the button until it's ready to go. The PiStar, on the other hand, takes every bit of 45 seconds. Now, this isn't a big deal if you set it up in your shack and forget about it until it's time to use it. Next, let's look at the setup. I will start with the OpenSpot, as there's much less to it. Basically, after taking it out of the box, you plug in the USB-C connector and plug it into either a USB power supply or a computer. You can then turn it on by pressing the power button for 1 second. After about 5 seconds, the white LED will flash quickly, letting you know the device is in Wi-Fi hotspot mode. You can then connect to the OpenSpot Wi-Fi with your phone or computer, and it should come up right to the configuration page. And this will guide you through a quick couple of steps, like selecting your country, and then you can pick your Wi-Fi connection as you normally use at home. It will have you enter your Wi-Fi password, and it will connect to your OpenSpot of your home Wi-Fi network. Now you need to connect to your device through your normal Wi-Fi connection. So how do you find it? One thing RF-Shark did right is a quick and easy way of finding your hotspot on the network. You can go to sharkrf.link on your computer or your phone and put in the device ID. Or you can even just point the camera of your phone at it. It will scan it, and it will bring it right to you. You only have to do this once for each device you log in with, and it will remember it, and voila, you're there. Once this is done, it will connect to the management web page for your OpenSpot. Now all you have to do is click on the type of connector you want to use, such as DMR. Now for the PiStar, first you have to put the thing together, unless you buy one that's already assembled. Once you do that, you'll have to install the PiStar system on a microSD card with your computer. Then you can boot up the PiStar, and it will start in access point mode. You can then get to it with a Wi-Fi device and configure it. Now, finding the PiStar, on the other hand, can be a bit more of a pain than the OpenSpot. If you happen to have a screen on the hotspot, it will show the IP address while the device is idle, so long as the screen is on and configured. If not, you will have to search your network for the device. This can be frustrating. Setup of the PiStar takes a little more than the OpenSpot, but there are some pretty good tutorials on YouTube, like this one by Jason at Ham Radio 2.0. This isn't a PiStar tutorial, so I won't go into all the steps to configure it, but suffice it to say, it takes more to get going than the OpenSpot. Next, I will go over the web user interface. Both devices can be configured and managed using the web-based interface. The OpenSpot has a very nice and responsive, meaning that it looks good on a small device like a phone as well as on the desktop. The PiStar doesn't look quite as modern, and although you can use it on a phone, you have to scroll around the screen a bit more, and it can be pretty small for old eyes like mine. I find the OpenSpot a bit easier to navigate, as the PiStar has kind of a busy interface. Now, one interesting thing on the PiStar is the dashboard and admin pages. The dashboard page is the only one you can get to without logging in. The admin page has all the stuff the dashboard page has, plus some additional stuff once you do log in. Now, setting up your device for each type of comm, such as DMR, Yeasu System Fusion, or DStar, is also easier on the OpenSpot. It kind of guides you through it. The PiStar is a bit more fidgety, particularly for new digital ops. But once you get it set up, it shouldn't pose too many problems. Now, one thing the OpenSpot has is the ability to set up different profiles that are easy to switch between. You can have a DMR profile and a YSF profile, maybe even a YSF to DMR profile. And you can easily switch to one of those profiles in like a number of ways, like holding the Wi-Fi button and pressing the power button a number of times for the profile you want. You can also go into the web interface and switch, but you can also do it with your radio by sending a particular talk group, like 9001 for profile 1 and 9002 for profile 2. And that's pretty cool. Now, if you've ever used DMR on a hotspot for any period of time, you come across somebody yammering on and on and on, say on Worldwide or America Link, and you cannot change to another talk group until they shut up long enough for you to switch over. Now, sure, you can go over to the Brandmeister website and drop the call, but did you know that you can also do it from your hotspot? Now, you have to add an API key, which you get from Brandmeister, and it will give you the ability to do this from your hotspot webpage. Now, the OpenSpot makes this a little easier to find. You just click on the Brandmeister Manager button on the right-hand side of your screen. At the top, you see where you add the API key. One interesting note is that the OpenSpot stores the API key in the browser as a cookie, so each browser needs to get a key. I really wish RF Shark would have saved it on the device. On the PiStar, it's a little more hidden, but still easy to do once you find it. You have to go to the configuration and then on Expert, and then click on the BM API link at the top to be able to enter the API key. Once it's entered, you can drop the call right from the admin page, so there's less clicks to get to it than on the OpenSpot page. The bottom line is the OpenSpot is easier, like a Mac is, compared to like the PiStar, which is more like Linux. Both can do pretty much all the same stuff, but the OpenSpot seems a little more polished, which makes sense since it's a commercial product. The PiStar has more configurability, but at the cost of complexity. Now, where the rubber truly meets the road, how do these things sound? So if you're expecting that the OpenSpot should sound better since it's a commercial device, I hate to break it to you, but to my ears, they both sound exactly the same. Now, I have the standard OpenSpot, not the Pro, and I understand the Pro device has some dedicated hardware for doing cross-network transcoding. So if you're going to be going from DMR to DStar, or the OpenSpot Pro will likely be a better choice. In fact, going from DMR or YSF to DStar is something I think you can only do with the OpenSpot Pro. You can go from DStar to the others, but not to DStar. And if I got that wrong, somebody leave a comment below and correct me. Now, before I give you my recommendation, I will go over the price. And this isn't as simple as it would have been just a couple of years ago prior to the chip shortage, making the Raspberry Pi platforms extremely difficult and driving the cost up to ridiculous levels. A Pi Zero 2W should cost under $20, but try and find one for less than $100. And the same goes for the Pi 3 and Pi 4, which should be about $40 or $80, depending on the model. But today, they're in the $150 to $250 range. Now, if you already have a Pi, you can get an MMDVM board for about $50, which is exactly what I did. And then I added this C4 Labs case for another $30. And you can get a complete MMDVM PiStar with a Pi Zero 2W for just under $200. Now, the OpenSpot4 starts at 249 euros, which at the time of this recording is about $242 US, plus about $20 in shipping via FedEx. So what used to be a considerable price difference isn't quite so today. So, which do I recommend? Drum roll, please. The answer is it depends. If you're mostly going to use it at home, and particularly if you already have a Raspberry Pi lying around, the answer is go with the PiStar. You do have to do a bit more fiddling to get the PiStar set up and running, but that may not be an issue for you. However, if you want something a little more portable and you don't want to fuss around with trying to connect to different networks, or if you switch between DMR, Fusion, and DStar a lot, you might want to go with the OpenSpot4. If you're planning on doing a lot of cross-mode stuff, particularly with DStar, you may want to pay extra for the Pro model. One more reason to consider the OpenSpot is if you want to use it right out of the box with very little setup. Digital modes can be a lot of fun and allow you to talk around the world if you don't have access to the HF bands or if the conditions just aren't there. There are those that will claim that this isn't real ham radio, but there are many facets to our hobby, and I think you should do the ones that you like and get you on the air. Now, I really like to hear your thoughts on these, so please leave a comment if you agree or disagree with my assessment and why, or if you just want to add something to the discussion. This allows other viewers to see the opinions of other people. This is really helpful, especially those making a buying decision. Also, if you're looking to buy one of these, take a look at the comments below and see what others have had to say. As always, thanks for watching. And here is another video that you might find interesting. Until next time, 73s.